Hey everybody, what's going on? Your host, LovelyCheesePizza here. Welcome to another edition of Sports Sunday, where we talk about sports, life, and everything in between. And we're back playing some more Baseball Stars, where, believe it or not, the perfect season is still alive at 38 games. But I'll tell you, the last game was pretty tough. It was not an easy walk in the park at all. It took a pretty wild, what was it, like 7th or 8th inning for us to really put them away. So, you know, none of these games are guarantees anymore. I feel like we've had, you know, more and more of these games are starting to turn into these, which, you know, I love that. I personally do. I love blowing teams out, but at the same time, I really love these high stress ones like this, because we really should have about 10 of them in a row when we play against the American Dream here in the next couple of episodes. So just gear up for the hurricane, man. It's gonna be an absolute unmitigated nightmare once we get to that point. Because the whole stealing bases thing, yeah, that's not even gonna be close to happening. I mean, oh, here we go. Here it is! What a way to start. Yeah! That's gotta be like one of Jeff's like first home runs. Because he does not hit very many of those. I think that's only got to be like maybe his second or third one. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it, or we'll just see when it comes around the horn. But yeah, the whole thing with being able to steal bases, that'll never happen again once we get to that point against the American Dream. Like, you could see how bad the guy is at throwing to second base, but I can tell you with full confidence, if we try stealing a base against this next team, like when they throw it to second, that thing is immediately like there's no like throwing a one-hop ball there. Like, he almost overthrows second base when he throws it. It's insane. Alright, we're gonna tag up on that one. We're going. By the way, let me just get some excitement out here. Let me start this episode by throwing complete and total shade at my favorite college's rival school, the in-state rival. So, in college basketball, the Oregon Ducks, my pride and joy. I didn't create them, so I don't know if they could actually be my pride and joy, but they're what brings me happiness in the world of sports, we can put it that way. So they played I think it was last week, they played a game against Savannah State, which is, I mean, they're a really small school. They're not a big school, and they're not very good either. Those guys are really bad. Oregon plays against these guys, and they set a school record for points scored in a game. They beat them like 120. I think they beat them like 128 to like 69 or something like that. So they beat them. Or no, it was like 128 to 59. They beat him by 69 points, which is the best margin of victory I've ever heard of in my life. But those guys were so bad. They shot, think about this. They shot like 50 3-pointers in that game. 50 of them. 50 3-pointers. And they only made like 10 of them. That is so bad. That is terrible. And the guy that took the most, he took like 13 shots, and 12 of them were 3-pointers. And that dude may have had the flattest shot I've ever seen. Like, even flatter than dudes like Dwayne Wade, who has a traditionally very flat shot, or even flatter yet, a guy like Arvydas Sabonis, who may have had the flattest shot in the world. Like, the way that he would make shots, I didn't even know if it was even, like, mathematically possible. Like, he would shoot that thing, and it would seriously be at, like, bullet trajectory. It was basically flat. I mean, it was basically, like, just coming straight out of a gun flat. It was remarkable. And he would never make them. He would never make those, ever. And so, Oregon beat the living shit out of them. Here's where the fun part comes in. Oregon State plays against these guys. So keep in mind, the final score was 128 to 59 or whatever. Oregon State plays these guys. Keep in mind, Oregon State was a tournament team last year. I forgot to have my guy go back to first. That was really stupid. Oregon State plays against these guys, and Oregon State lost to them 93 to 90. They allowed this team that literally does nothing more than shoot threes and being very, very undersized while doing it. They beat them 93 to 90. That is hilarious to me. When I found out about that, I was like, you must be kidding me. I mean, the Savannah State team, it's not like they were a good team that just shoots a bunch of threes. They were awful. They were like I think they were like 3-7 or whatever. 3-8, something. Maybe not even. Maybe they may have only have 2 wins. I don't even know. But the fact that they beat a Division I team like in a power conference nonetheless is absolutely mind-boggling to me. But then again, you got teams like, you know, number 5 Indiana that found a way to lose to it was like Fort Worth, Texas or something, which is like a really small school. Like, that's a team that has never beaten a ranked team ever in their lives, you know? And I don't think that they've ever beaten a ranked team before. And then, you know, they're like, this type of thing has happened to a lot of teams over the last few years. Like, normally you play against a ranked team and you're one of these small ass schools, you're getting pasted, and you're getting pasted by like 30 or 40. It's like watching the average UConn women's game. They're winning every game by 35 or more. But there was another game too. It was Indiana State played against like a ranked team, and they totally beat them. And I mean, this is definitely not your dad's Indiana State team that had Larry Bird on it. Oh no. The Sycamores have not been good for many, many a day. And by many a day, I mean they have not been good for like thousands of days. Not in like the national perspective, but I think they actually made the NCAA tournament a couple few years ago. Which couple few is definitely not a unit of measurement. It is also not an identifying factor for a number, but we're gonna go with couple few. So it's somewhere between 2 and 3, I suppose. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Might be able to send him around. Come on, Sid Bream, get your ass around the horn! He's gonna let you do it. Why would he let you do that? If he would have thrown that, you were hosed. I mean, oh, come on. Come on, Snakes, baby. Come on, Snakes, baby. Oh, right in the snake pit. Yeah. I feel a lot better about this game. I'm pretty confident that there will not be any type of shakeup in the perfect season here. I think we got this one pretty firm in hand. Pretty firm in hand. Unless these guys just go on like a bases-loaded tear, which I don't know if I see it. I think they really exhausted all of their energy and available resources in that last game, because they really had me on the ropes. They had that early, what was it, like 2-0 lead. So gotta give them credit where it's due, man. They really had me sweating a little bit. But this is a much more relaxed type of thing. It is very unlike watching the average Portland Trailblazers game. That is the worst. That is one of the worst things right now, and it sucks because it is furthering my calendar year of sports teams that I like that are terrible. The only team that I like that is doing, you know, moderately well right now are the Oregon Ducks in college basketball. It's seriously the only team that I like that is worth, you know, the squirt of piss out of a cat's urethra, you know? It's ridiculous. I mean, the White Sox are bad. The Oregon Ducks in football were bad. The Packers are doing better. The Winnipeg Jets, the most random, you know, liking of a team that I've ever taken in my life. They're also pretty bad right now. And then I guess like the Memphis Tigers in basketball are doing pretty well. But I don't follow them with the same level of passion that I do everybody else. But they're also doing pretty good in basketball. And in football, they are okay. They have a bowl game coming up. But I wouldn't say that, you know, they're probably the one that I follow like the least, you know, religiously out of the bunch. So, but you know, they're okay too. So I guess you could throw them in there. They were satisfactory in the whole scope of it all. Come on, Kevin. Man, I mean, for being a contact hitter, he's great. But I mean, I know he's hit a home run so far, but I want him just to hit a towering one. Oh, that was Jeff's 4th. Okay, that's not that bad. That's not that bad at all. But yeah, man. So the Ducks are doing okay though. But it's the Ducks and the Trailblazers are actually very similar in the way they play games. It bothers the living hell out of me. They'll either what they're gonna do is they're either going to, you know, a team is gonna jump way out ahead of them. They're gonna be ahead by like 15 or 20 points, and they've got to spend the entire rest of the game. Oh, come on, baby. Do we have a grand salami? Is the salami grand? It is! Yes! The salami is coated in gold! Oh my god, sell it for what you can on the market, because that thing's worth a ton. Man, that was awesome. That's what, our second Grand Slam in this series now? Oh man, that was great. This game's gonna be over really fast. It's gonna be kind of depressing. Unless these guys can go right ahead and score one. But hey, what do you do? So, okay, so yeah, they're either gonna, you know, have to battle back by being down by 20 or whatever, and, you know, that it just ends up being a game that they ultimately either win by like 2 points or they end up losing because they just, you know, didn't have it when they needed it. Or it'll be the reverse version of that. Come on, Snakes, give me another one. Give me another one, man. Give me another one. Yeah. Oh, Snakes, I can see that needle full of roids just dangling out of your arm right now. This is fantastic. We got, what, 4 home runs in this game right now? And we're only in the 4th inning. This is ridiculous. But yeah, it's either that or it turns into the reverse version of that, where they take a big lead right away, and then they just end up eventually pissing it away, or they have to, you know, they have to like go on a furious rally to like stave off the impending doom comeback. And that's happened so many times. Like, I was watching the Portland-Memphis game the other night, and that was the most frustrating game I've ever seen, because it was a game where finally Portland's defense comes in. They have the worst defense in the league right now, I'm pretty sure. They've allowed over 100 points in like 20, I think it's like 22 out of 26 games that they played, which is easily the worst. I mean, it's not even close. But so they finally hold Memphis. They're in like the 80s. But go figure, it's a night where they're also, you know, not shooting well. I think like Portland's final, wow, that was a really short game. Like the final shooting percentage for Portland was 30. They shot 30% from the field, but it was a game that they should have won easily. I mean, not even close. It was a game where on 3 different occasions throughout the course of the game, Portland was ahead by at least 12 points. So they had, in the second quarter, they had a 12-point lead that they built up, and then they squandered it away within like 5 minutes. In the third quarter, they built up a 13-point lead that within the next 5 minutes it went away. And in the fourth quarter, they were ahead by 13 points with like 5 minutes to go. And then over the last like 5 minutes of the quarter, I don't know if I think they scored like 3 points over the last 5 minutes of the game. Like, they shot like 4 out of like 19 in that quarter, and they just totally pissed it away. It was awful. And they've had so many of those games. It's just like a curse, man. I'm telling you. It just like, there's like this aura through my body that they know, the world knows when teams that I like are about, you know, they're on the verge of popping off and, you know, getting a win that they totally need. And then the powers that be are like, hey, Ted, you gotta get in on this one right now. Something good's gonna happen. You can't let him have it. It's like, oh, right on, boss, I got it. And just flies down there and totally shoots him in the ball sack with whatever, you know, curse juice is out there. And it totally ruins all of it. Okay, we got 10 to 20 in one of these, and then we'll give him running. Always got to make sure your leadoff batter is extra fast. So he's almost maxed out too, by the way. So he is maxed out. Gus still has plenty of room. We're not going to deal with that right now, though. And then, let's see. Yeah, Buzz is maxed out. Frank is maxed out. Fuller's got a ways to go. Snakes has a ways to go. And then, let's see, Harry and Marv should probably make sure that their batting is just up to par. So we'll give them 3, and then we'll give them 1 prestige and then 1 batting. And then we'll also give 1 to Harry. Oh, he's further up, actually. Okay. Well, that's not going to help. Can I give another 1 to Marv? I cannot. Okay, that's fine. That's totally fine. I'm okay with that. We don't really need to worry so much about our relief pitchers having it, because they're only going to get at maximum 1 at bat per game. So not really going to worry about that too much. And Peter's actually pretty decent. We've already seen how good he is. His batting average is like almost 700. So hey, he's in pretty good shape. He's just gonna ride the coattails of success until it eventually falls away. But until then, my friends, this was an exceptionally short episode. I didn't really anticipate that we were gonna blow them away in 4 innings, but we got there. So when we come back on the next installment of Sports Sunday, where we talk about sports life and everything in between, we're gonna have our final matchup against the World Powers, and then after that, it is time. It is time to take on the American Dream to see what'll happen. And what I'll do, just so we can kind of see what the statistics are looking like going into this thing, I'll simulate all of the other available games that can be done out there leading up to this series, so that we know just how crazy their stats are. So until then, my friends, this is your host, Lovely Cheese Pizza, saying thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Take care.